Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. In today's video we'll be doing an unboxing and setup of the LIFX Z Strip. We will also compare it to the cheaper eBay version. So without any further ado, let's jump right in. A lot of you may be aware of the brand LIFX, but for those of you that are not, LIFX is a company that makes energy efficient, Wi-Fi enabled smart LED lights, and these can be controlled remotely through an app on your phone or through other smart devices like Google Assistant or Alexa. LIFX has a large ecosystem of LED lights, and you can check out the full range on their website. When you first open the box, you will be greeted by a surface cleaning wipe, followed by a quick setup guide which has instructions and the usual regulatory, warranty and safety information. Next up, we have the first part of the LED lights, which is approximately 1 meter. Underneath that, we have the second part of the LED lights and the power supply, which has an output of 24 volts and is 1.25 amps for those that want to know. And in the last part of the packaging, we have the power cable, which has the LED controller and a couple of different power plugs, depending on the region the lights were purchased in. As you can see here, the LED controller has some double-sided adhesive stickers already mounted to it, and you can attach this to a wall or underneath the desk, for example. But keep in mind that if you do plan on removing it or repositioning it in the near future, that it might peel the paint off of the surface that it's attached to. On the back of the LED controller, you will also notice the device's serial number printed, and this also doubles as the device's MAC address for those of you that use MAC address filtering on your Wi-Fi network. So keep that in mind. So in order to set up the lights, you will need to plug in the DC connector, which is the one with the yellow tip, into the power adapter, and then select the appropriate power connection for your region. Next, you will need to plug in the LED strip to the other end of the LED controller cable. This has a 4-pin socket on it. And if you're using both LED strips, you will need to connect them together using the 4 pins. Now you may have noticed throughout the video that I have an LED strip at the back of my desk, and that one there is the cheap eBay version of the LED lights. And as you can probably tell, they're not very bright and the color reproduction is pretty bad. They do not connect to Wi-Fi, so therefore they are not considered smart LED lights like the LIFX Z Strip. With the cheap LED lights, you get a remote control that you can use to control the lights, and it works through infrared, which means you have to be within range and the infrared sensor has to be visible. All your controls and colors are limited to the preset buttons on the remote, and some of them don't even work. For example, you have buttons to increase or decrease the brightness, but the lights themselves don't actually support dimming. Moving on, we're going to set up the lights through the LIFX app. So I'm going to open the app and I'm going to tap the plus button in the top right corner. Then I'm going to select Connect Light. The phone will now search for the lights and you will see the name of the lights come up at the top. The last 6 letters or digits of the name are actually the same as the light's serial number. This can be found on the back of the LED controller. I'm going to tap on the name of the lights to select them, and on the next screen I will choose the Wi-Fi network that I want them to connect to. Once you enter your Wi-Fi password, the connection process can take a few minutes, so you will need to be patient. I have sped up the video in order to keep it at a reasonable length. If you do get stuck on this screen and the lights refuse to connect to your Wi-Fi, you can power cycle your phone and your modem and make sure you reset the lights to factory settings and then repeat the connection process again. Unfortunately, this can happen sometimes with technology. Once the lights have connected to your Wi-Fi network, you will have the option to set up and name the location of the lights. This is useful if you have multiple locations where you have LIFX lights set up. I will call mine home. And in the group screen, I'm going to type in office, as that is where my lights will be set up. And finally, you can give your lights a name. This is important in order to distinguish between multiple LIFX lights, and it is also useful when you use voice assistants like Alexa or Google to control them. In the application, we have two main color wheels, one for changing the temperature of the whites and one for the colors. In the center of the color wheel, you have the adjustment for the brightness, and this can be adjusted anywhere from 1% down to 100%. You also have a settings button at the top which allows you to rename the lights, update the firmware, and also remove the lights if you wish to connect them to a new Wi-Fi network. In the Create tab, you have some preset themes that you can use to light your room with, and as the name suggests, you can also create your own themes by painting the colors you want on the virtual LED strip shown at the top. The application is fairly simple to use once you get used to it, although the interface can be a bit confusing at first, and it could use a bit of a facelift. Hopefully we see that in a future update to the app. In the Effects tab, you have some different presets which allow you to add some cool effects to the lights, but for the purpose of keeping this video short, we are not going to go through them all. The last tab in the app allows you to set up some automation based on the time of the day. For instance, you can choose what time you want the lights to turn on and the temperature of the white color as well as the brightness of the lights. And you can also set the lights to gradually dim down before bedtime. You can also choose what days this happens on. In the next part of this video, I will show you how the lights compare to the cheap eBay version, and you will also see how responsive they are. Okay, so on the left we have the LIFX Z LED Strip, and on the right we have the cheap eBay LED Strip. You can instantly see the LIFX LED Strip is much brighter compared to the cheaper one. I will also note that the cheap LED lights are at full brightness. So if you're on a budget and you don't have the funds to spend on the LIFX lights, you can go with the eBay version, but you do get what you pay for and you do lose quality and functionality. The LIFX Z Strip is superior in every way compared to the eBay version. I personally recommend spending that little extra for the LIFX Z LED Strip, as you get a lot more features and a lot more brightness out of it. And no, this is not a sponsored video, it is just my opinion. If you are planning on purchasing some LIFX LED lights, you can try and use the discount code that is found in the app, which is LIFX VIP. Not sure if this works in all regions, but it doesn't hurt to try. And that's all for today's video, guys. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please let me know in the comments section below. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. We'll see you next time.